New allegations of voter fraud in the Wisconsin Supreme Court judge race. Really? Voter fraud where Democrats and unions are involved? Now they tell us. Who is next? Angela. Angela in Arnold, Missouri, not far from St. Louis. Welcome to the EIB Network. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Rush, I am incensed, truly incensed, that you are so worked up and in a dither because Donald Trump is actually having the nerve to go after the validity of Barack Obama's birthplace.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean? Is just not going to leave the issue alone. I know you've been chuckling about it because he's having so much nerve to just not to leave this issue alone. And the fact of the matter is that his citizenship has been a suspicious issue from the very beginning, and not one Republican, high Republican or you has ever really tried to nail him on this issue. And if it does turn out that he is not a true citizen, then I think all of you should hang your heads in shame because of all the destruction our country has had to suffer ever since he was elected, in spite of being the fraud that we know he probably really is.
So you're mad at me?
I am furious. I wanted you and anybody else to go after him on this issue before he was elected. It would have been the easiest way to have stopped him. It would have been a no-brainer. But nobody would until he was elected, and everything was just hidden under the rug. And now look what we have had ever since.
Just a moment. There were court cases. Judges threw it out. Judges looked at it. There were any number of efforts made to get to the bottom of it.
How is Donald Trump going to get anywhere with it then?
Well, why aren't you mad at Trump for not getting into it earlier? Why are you mad at me for pointing out what Trump's doing? Well, how come you're not mad at Trump for not being on this for 2 years? Trump's a late arrival here.
Trump is not the one who has the show that's supposed to be exposing all the political mess in this country. You are.
Yeah.
You're the one who's supposed to be enlightening everybody, and you did not do as much as you could have done to enlighten us to how big a fraud Obama is. And, if it does turn out that he's not a citizen, I think you should hang your head in shame because our country has suffered so much.
You know what? I have. Now, wait just a second, Angela. Throw this birth certificate business out. And I got to remind you, there is no evidence whatsoever Obama was not born in Hawaii. There's something he doesn't want us to see about the birth certificate, but there's nothing to glom onto here other than his reticence in having the birth certificate seen. But in terms, I am the only one who proclaimed the guy a fraud. I'm the one who did not go along with Obama. I'm the one who said, I hope he failed. I'm the guy who took all the arrows for a whole Republican Party and everybody else for suggesting this guy was a fraud and filled with deceit, that he's not who he said he was, on the basis of policy and the things that he had planned for this country.
But the fact that there was no evidence was the very reason why you should have gone forward. I have evidence that I'm a citizen. Why didn't he have to produce the evidence? Nobody made him do it. Not even you, and everyone else should have made him provide the evidence. He should have been able to get away with that.
All right. So what do you want me to do now? You're mad at me for playing Trump? You're upset with me for airing sound bites of Trump?
I'm upset because now Donald Trump has to come in and do the job that you and the high-ranking Republicans in office should have been doing before the election.
Well, look, he did produce a copy of the short-form birth certificate, which the government of Hawaii has vouched for as completely authentic. He did produce evidence which a state in this country said was good enough for them.
Well, then why is there anything Donald Trump can be going after? Why are we even talking about it?
Well, because
there must be an issue.
If I were afraid of this, as you are alleging, I wouldn't even be playing Trump sound bites. Or if I were, I'd be making fun of Trump and telling him to shut up and go away, but I'm not.
Well, he's apparently willing to take the risk of...
Let me tell you something.
In case it turns out that he's wrong.
Okay, if you want to focus, Angela, on what should have happened before the election, we can do that. And I can focus on the stupidity of half the country that voted for the guy. And I can talk about all the stupid things the media said and all the tricks that were played to convince people that he's not who he was. But today, it's 2011, and those days are over, and we are living in the midst of this guy destroying the economy and going back, and talking about a birth certificate right now is not the most effective way of stopping this guy. I would love nothing more than for this guy to be proven a fraud. I would love nothing more for him to have I would love nothing more for all of this to have been a giant trick. I would love nothing more for him to get nabbed at this. But there isn't any evidence of it yet. I would love nothing more to see what happens when it's proven, if it could be, that he's not a citizen. What happens in legislation when everything he's done is unqualified. Everything he's done is illegal. Everything he does has got to be wiped clean. Can you imagine that battle? I would love to see that. You've got me pegged wrong here. But I deal with what is. I don't deal with what ifs. If is for children. And we've got certain things that are the reality of the day that have to be dealt with. Pure and simple. And that's where I am on this. No more and no less. There's no magic wand that can get Obama unelected. You can hope and you can dream, but you are locked in a fantasy if that's what you're waiting for. That isn't going to happen. The focus needs to be on making sure he's not re-elected. But there is no way to unelect the guy. It isn't going to happen. Now, having said that, oh yeah, I'm like all of you. I would love for this guy to be a total fraud when it comes to the birth certificates, a fraud on practically everything else. I would love for if he's born somewhere else, I would love for conclusive proof of that. That would be fun. Just to watch the Democrats and the media go, that would be worth the price of admission and whatever they charge for it. But until such things happen, if, when, whatever, there's a reality that has to be dealt with day in and day out.
A short stint in office.